Long ago, in a distant galaxy, there was a frozen exoplanet called Verith. Its icy surface glittered under the light of a dying star. Most explorers who came to the planet never returned, for Verith was no ordinary world, it was a place of ancient mystery. The stories told by the stars whispered of lost civilizations buried deep beneath its frost. One fateful day, a team of brave explorers arrived, led by Captain Ilya, a seasoned astronaut with a heart full of curiosity. They landed their ship on the planet's snowy surface, feeling the cold seep through their suits. Yet, it was not the freezing winds that worried them, it was the strange silence. No bird sang, no wind howled. It was as if the planet was holding its breath. They uncovered a hidden entrance beneath the ice, leading them to a vast underground cavern. The walls shimmered with unknown, glowing symbols. As they ventured deeper into the icy maze, they found something that stopped their hearts. There, perfectly preserved in the frozen depths, were the bodies of alien beings, tall, slender creatures with shining eyes and translucent skin. They were unlike anything the explorers had seen before. But then, a strange sound filled the air. A whisper. It was soft at first, like a distant echo, then grew louder as if the alien corpses were speaking. "Help us." And so began the legend of Verith, the planet that whispered in the cold. Captain Ilya and her crew froze in place, their hearts pounding as the whispers continued to fill the cavern. It was as if the voices of the dead were reaching out, calling to them from beyond the stars. The whispers twisted and turned, coming from every direction, yet no one could tell where they came from. The voices seemed to speak in a language no human had ever heard, but somehow, Captain Ilya understood. "The world, it is dying." One voice whispered, followed by another, "You must listen." The team moved cautiously through the frozen labyrinth, following the whispers deeper into the tunnels. The air grew colder still, and strange lights flickered along the cavern walls. The further they went, the more the whispers became frantic, warning them of an ancient catastrophe that had sealed these beings in their icy tomb. They came to a grand chamber, where a massive stone door stood, engraved with alien symbols that shimmered faintly in the darkness. Captain Ilya reached for the handle, but the moment her fingers touched it, the voices screamed in unison, "No." Suddenly, the walls trembled as if the planet itself was waking from a long slumber. The whispers became chaotic, filled with fear and sorrow. A chilling realization struck. Ilya understood that these beings weren't just dead, they had been trapped for eons, their spirits bound to the planet's frozen core. And now, the whispers were calling them to finish what had been started long ago. "You must release us, or suffer the fate we did." What was this curse that bound them? The crew could only wonder as the echoes of the dead filled their ears. As Captain Ilya and her crew stood before the massive stone door, the air thickened with a sense of impending doom. The whispers grew louder, almost pleading, "Release us, or face the eternal cold." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. They knew something terrible had happened on Verith, something that had turned this once thriving civilization into echoes frozen in time. Ilya's hand hovered over the door's surface, trembling with both fear and curiosity. The alien symbols glowed brighter under her touch, their meaning slowly becoming clear. The whispers told the story of a mighty empire that once ruled across the stars. The aliens had discovered the power of the cosmic energy that flowed through the universe, but their greed had led them to experiment with it. The energy, they learned, was both a gift and a curse, one that turned their planet into a frozen prison. The ancient beings had sealed themselves inside the ice, trapped by their own ambition, and now they were bound to the planet, unable to escape. The whispers, Ilya realized, were not just a warning, they were a desperate plea for salvation. With a deep breath, she pushed the door open, the echoes swelling to a crescendo. Inside, they found an ancient artifact, a glowing crystal, pulsating with the same cosmic energy that had caused the catastrophe. It radiated a power so intense that it threatened to freeze everything in its path. As the crystal's light intensified, the whispers suddenly stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. Captain Ilya held the artifact in her hands, feeling the weight of the lost civilization's legacy. "We cannot undo the past," she whispered. But in that moment, she understood that Veritha's curse was not just an ancient story, it was a living warning to the universe. With one final, reluctant glance at the frozen bodies of the alien beings, Ilya and her crew turned and left the chamber, sealing the door behind them. The whispers faded, leaving only the haunting memory of a civilization's ambition and its tragic end. The legend of Verith lived on, a story to be told by travelers around distant campfires, as a reminder of the dangers of meddling with forces beyond comprehension. And as the explorers boarded their ship and soared back into the vastness of space, they couldn't shake the feeling that, somewhere out there, the echoes of the ice were still waiting for someone to listen.